Hi, it's Zamar again with another coffee and kvetch. I am on a road trip right now and I am missing my mug of coffee. So I just had something on my mind and wanted to go ahead and make this video even without my coffee mug. I'm still working on some iced tea and we'll be making a stop pretty soon to get some coffee. And by the way, I'm not a coffee fanatic. I'm not a coffee connoisseur. I just like my morning mug of joe or my morning mug of tea and like the name coffee and kvetch. At any rate, I want to talk right now about, I'm going to call it funeral shaming or funeral director shaming. What is up with that? We, a few years ago, had a precious family member pass away. And like most of you, we were totally unprepared for the cost of a funeral. And you want to do the best you can. This is your loved one. You don't want to be putting them in the ground. You don't want to be doing that. Even though we have a strong faith and we know our loved one is at home with the Lord right now, we don't want to put their remains into a box and bury it, or have them put into an oven and burned. I mean, to me, it's revolting. I'm a strong believer in the Holy Scriptures, and I know that we just live in this is an earth suit, this is a coat that wears out, that houses our soul. We're the temple of the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit of the living God, and our flesh is just a temporary outfit. But that has the image of our family member. That body is how we knew them our entire life on this earth. You're brokenhearted, you're torn apart. In our case, there was no pre-planning. We just had to do everything last minute. And I credit Judah for doing all the phone work and all of that because I was too devastated. And we found a place that we thought would be suitable in our community. And we went there and had a conversation, and the funeral director pulls out a catalog of caskets. I thought they'd have a showroom, but no. He has a catalog. And you're looking at boxes to put your loved one in that are priced in the multiple thousands of dollars for a wooden or a metal box with some padding in it and a pretty fluffy pillow. What is up with that? You know what's up with that? They do it because they can. And they do it because people are at the lowest part in their life many times. And you're in shock. You are not sleeping. You're not eating. And then they show you this catalog and they start with the expensive ones. We were so shocked, and we're saying, well, do you have anything a little less? You know, would you have anything that's nice but a little less money? This funeral director got so angry with us for asking that question. He literally turned red in the face and started to sweat. I was crying. My husband was angry. He turns to a page in the back of his funeral catalog that had a cardboard casket. He said, well, would something like this fit in your budget? I'm telling you what, it's a good thing I didn't have pepper spray on me or something a little more powerful, or I would have used it on him at that moment. I was so hurt and angry and appalled. You know, I've been in the medical profession my entire life, and I've worked with death and dying. I've worked with various funeral homes as they, come up to get my patient when they've passed. But I hadn't delved into this side of things before. At one point, when we told him that these caskets were way out of our budget, he even showed us a gold-plated casket. And Judah, what did he tell us? Was that did he call it Michael Jackson's casket or something? Oh, well, if this is expensive, these ones that are $10,000, $15,000, that's the going price. Anyway, I was appalled. And I should have gone onto YouTube then. I had to grieve for my family member, and I didn't get there. But everybody in my city should know about this person. This is the worst of the worst. I know there are funeral directors out there who are kind and loving, compassionate, and reasonable, and work with grieving families, but that wasn't this place, and that wasn't a lot of funeral homes right now. This, again, is just a business to get as much money raked in as they can, not to provide a service to grieving families. So we ended up ordering a casket online, and those people said, we will overnight you this casket, we will call this funeral home, and we will make all the arrangements. They said you do not have to use their caskets. That's what we did, and we got a very nice casket. I won't say for how much. It was beautiful, and it was a fraction of the price that the funeral home was going to charge us. I will say that when that funeral director found out we were ordering a casket online and not from him, he was, again, furious. He wanted to talk to us. My loved one's body was there, and he was holding it hostage, basically, because we were going to have his body transported. Actually, when we found out the cost, we decided we would transport my loved one's body to their resting place, which is what we did, and that was awesome. If you can be involved in that, I would recommend that. Initially, we looked at price-wise, but then we thought, how awesome for our whole family to caravan up to the resting place for our deceased family member. I hate to use the word deceased because he's living, but just not here on this earth. Anyway, it was beautiful to be able to transport our loved one to their final resting place and kind of caravan up with our children or other family members and be involved in that. Now, the transfer, when we went to pick him up, was very difficult because the funeral home had received the overnighted casket. They had to put him in there, and then we came that morning had to pull in the back of the funeral place and the funeral parlor and pick up the body of our beloved one in the casket we had ordered online. It was so uncomfortable, and they were so rude and nasty. For 2 cents, I would say where this place is, but I'm not going to. I just want everybody else out there to be aware. Try to pre-plan with your loved one if you can, so that this is all handled ahead of time. Nobody wants to talk about their loved one dying. I mean, we didn't. We discussed a few of these issues, but man, it's just really a hard conversation. So I think it's up to family members that maybe know they're going to be facing that in a few years to do the kind thing and have this all arranged so that young people or other family members don't need to arrange it last minute and run into the issues that we did. So, a word to the wise. And what is up with that, funeral homes? You need to stop doing what you're doing and find another job that does not affect human lives, human feelings, human emotions, and above all, human spirituality. This is a holy, holy calling. And if you can't do it from a holy, sanctified place and treat people with love and kindness and respect in their hour of grieving, shame on you. Get out of the business. I'd say go flip burgers, but even that is a service to mankind, and I wouldn't want the person that we dealt with preparing my food. So I don't know, Judah, what do you think these people could go do instead of renting a funeral home?
Perhaps something that doesn't involve dealing with people.
Yes. They need to sit in a little dark room somewhere and not have any contact with humanity whatsoever. Anyway, it's all in the Lord's hands, and it's over with, but it will never be forgotten. And got quite a few family members that are in the healthcare field and are in contact with people regularly that need funeral suggestions or funeral home suggestions. And believe me, we share our experience far and wide. And I'm sure there's some kind of laws against what this man did to our family. I'm sure of it. It was too many years ago now, but I hope every one of you can just get some information from our experience and have a heads up for funeral planning in your family with your loved ones who are passing away. So anyway, shalom everybody, and I hope you're having an awesome weekend. And we'll check back in soon with more Coffee and Kvetch with Zamar. Bye for now.